Welcome to the next step in my quest to take on the hour record, an Eddie Merckx record distance of 49.431 kilometres.
Now the hour record is typically performed on a velodrome with a fixed gear track bike. And in this video, I'm going to try and learn the skills that are required in order to take on the hour record in this specific kind of discipline of riding. Now, although the pros we see in the Olympics on TV, they make it look really easy, but be under no illusion, there's a reason why they're at the Olympics. It's deceptively hard. And when it comes to riding on the track, I'm a rookie, I'm a noob, a beginner, a greenhorn. So I'm going to have to learn these skills and learn them fast.
I'm going to need some help. Fortunately, I know just the person. Manon Lloyd may be relatively new to GCN, however, she's as experienced as they get when it comes to the track. Having competed for both Wales and Great Britain, she's ridden the European Championships, World Championships and Commonwealth Games.
So Ollie, how much track riding have you done?
Pretty much none.
Right, great. Probably going to need to go back to basics then. So we're here at the Geraint Thomas Velodrome in Newport. The track is obviously 250 metres long. That is if you follow the black line here. That's what you're going to need to follow for your hour record. We also have the red line, which is the sprinter's line, which they use for racing, and then the blue line, which is more for training purposes. And then you have the Côte d'Azur down here, which you do not want to hit at speed because you will fall off.
Why is that?
You're just going to fall off if you hit it at speed.
Oh, great.
Yep, don't do that. And remember, you are on a fixed gear bike. So if you do stop pedalling, you will fall off.
So I'm going to fall off. Great. Right.
No, you're not. You're fine. This is why I'm here.
Right.
So we're here today to work on some of the key skills you're going to need for the hour record. The main one is going to be pacing. Do you know how Eddie Merckx paced his hour record?
Yeah, actually, I did some research. Not very well. So his opening kilo that he did would have qualified him for the 1972 Munich Olympics kilo time trial on the track. So his first kilo, he just went like the clappers and blew up. I mean, if he'd paced it more evenly, he probably would have gone quite a bit further. Well, I'm glad he didn't.
You've got an advantage if you pace it right now. So yeah, definitely one of the most important thing is to pace it right. Another challenging thing about the track is you're not actually allowed a computer on your bike, so you can't look at your power or your speed when you're riding. It all comes down to feel, and you have a coach on the side or you can have a lap split board, but yeah, it all comes down to feel. So I'm guessing you're used to looking at power when you've been training.
Yeah, I am like a slave to the numbers. I'm always looking at my computer, a bit like Chris Froome, just not riding anywhere near as fast.
Well, we're going to take that away and you're going to go off feel. So I want you to go up now and do a few laps. Doesn't matter what speed you go, you just have to keep the same speed for all the laps.
And you're going to give me splits?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So Ollie's just going to do a few laps to warm up and then I'm going to time him. Never been a coach before. 21.2. Stay on the black line, Ollie. 22.4. 21.4. Pacing it well. 21.2. He's within a tenth or two every lap, so yeah, doing good. 21.1. 21. 135 more laps. Sounds about right. I'll go 2 more laps. 1 more lap. 21.4. So Ollie, how do you think you paced that?
Well, all right, like you get used to it, you start to feel it, and actually getting the splits is kind of good feedback. And something else is that you feel like you notice when you mess up slightly and you don't get the line quite right, you notice it's an extra couple of tenths of a second on a, well, that's what I felt anyway.
Yeah, definitely. You were in, well, between 3 and 4 tenths for the whole 8 laps or however many. Yeah, I think. Yeah, 2 or 3 tenths, literally. There was no big jumps in any of the laps, so yeah, pretty good pacing.
Right, okay, what's the next skill I need to master?
Ooh, what is the next skill?
I say that like I've definitely mastered this one.
So Ollie, we're sat here on the track concentrating on this black line. This is what is measured as 250 metres of the track. So for your hour record, every lap you do will be 250 metres if you follow this line. You do not want to be above it because you'll be riding the extra distance, but you want to be somewhere between the Côte d'Azur and the black line because that will be the shortest distance around the track.
So it only counts as 250 metres, even if I ride above it. So how bad would it be if I like rode like just here, for example?
So if you did the whole lap there, you could be doing 252 metres around the track, but it wouldn't count because the lap is only 250 metres.
And I guess that doesn't sound like much, but over the course of an hour record, that adds up to be loads. I mean, that'd be like an extra half a kilometre, maybe even more, if, even a kilometre, even if I did worse. But I mean, that kind of puts it in perspective because that's the difference between me succeeding or failing at this.
Yeah, definitely. You'd see some of the best track riders in the world. They will literally ride somewhere between the black and the Côte d'Azur, doing 249 metres of the track. Should we go do some laps?
Yeah, let's go do it.
So Ollie's just gone out on the track now to ride, just practicing riding on the black line and getting that line perfect all the way around the track. I was riding behind him and he was going into the bankings, he was drifting up towards the red a bit, so if he can just practice holding that line all the way through the corner, he should get it right. So the more time Ollie spends on the track and the more time he spends in the position riding that black line, the better he's going to get. Practice does make perfect.
It's mad how easy she's making this look. Like, you can tell that she's an ex-GB rider. It sounds silly to say, but when she comes around, just look how she's just under the black the whole time. And she's probably doing like 249 metre laps because of it. But she's just like, she's like classy on the track.
Your line was really, really good when you were on the straight, so you're right between the black line and the Côte d'Azur, so taking the shortest way around the track. But when you were going into the bankings, you were drifting up towards the red a tiny bit, but it's still good. You just need to work on that a bit, and then I think, as long as you get your line the same all the way around, so try and get it beneath the black line, and then you'll be perfect.
Oh, thanks for that feedback. It's really useful. I think as a novice track rider, I don't always know where I am at the moment in relation to the black, so it's really good to for you to be able to tell me that. On the straights, it is easier, I find, because the bike is directly beneath you, so that's a bit easier to know. But when you're on the banking and you're tilting the bike over, I guess it's naturally going to be a bit disorientating because of that. But yeah, I'll take that into account next time I'm riding. But is there anything else that you think I should be thinking about?
One more thing. Have you thought about what gear you're going to use for the hour record? Because when you're out there, you can't just change your gear like you can on a road bike.
So I've spoken to Neil and Mac, my coaches from the Sufferfest, and at the moment I've got a 5214 on here, which is actually the same gear that Eddie Merckx used. Yeah, and so that equates to kind of like 104, 106 RPM average for the hour to do that or equivalent distance, and that's a cadence that I've got used to now, and I'm good. But we've got a trick, right? Neil and Mac reckon we can make this more efficient by still keeping the same equivalent ratio, but by changing this 52 to like a 61 and then putting a bigger gear on the back, like a 17, and that way the chain's less tight an angle, less friction in the chain, should give me a few watts gains.
Yes, that's a very good idea. I think a smooth pedal stroke.
So that's the plan. But yeah, I haven't got a chainring sorted yet, but we're gonna.
Okay, so on to the next skill, the standing star. How do you feel about that?
Pretty nervous. I don't know why, but it just looks quite intimidating.
Yeah, they do. It is a little bit more complicated than it looks. You're going to have a countdown, so it'll count you down from 30 seconds, and then it'll beep from 5 seconds, and you need to go on 0, obviously. So, shall we go and practice?
Can you show me how it's done first?
Yeah. So when you're doing a standing start, you always need to start with your left foot, because naturally the track always wants to push you down, but by starting with your left foot, it'll push you up a bit and make you go in a straight line. And then when it comes down to the beeps, so you'll have a countdown from 30 seconds and then 10, and then from 5 seconds it'll beep. So you need to be in your position ready to go in 5, and then 4, and then up on 3, back on 2, 1, and then go on 0. Easy.
Okay. And then when you actually start pedaling, are you like rocking the bike like Marcel Kittel?
No, you're not flat out sprinting. You want to keep it all pretty, your core engaged and pretty strong. And you want to look where you're going, you don't want to look down. So I always look up towards the timing board when I'm doing a standing start.
And then how long before I get into the skis?
So we always used to do 3/4 of a lap before we sat down. So we'd sit down in the banking over there, and then you'd sit down and get into position and get nice and comfortable, ready for the next hour.
Okay, right. Well, can you show me how it's done?
All right, 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Ollie, you ready for your first ever standing start?
Yeah, I am nervous.
You'll be fine. Just go on 0.
Okay, right.
Take it away, Gary.
Give it a go.
Okay, 10 seconds.
Okay.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good, good. Go on, go on, go on.
But no, that was really good. What do you think?
Ah, it was great. You've got to get the first one under your belt.
It's only going to get better.
I hope you've enjoyed this track video and found it informative. And if you have, then please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you'd like to see more track content from GCN, let us know in the comments section, because we've not done much to date.
And if you want to follow Ollie's hour record, click on screen now.